Welcome to Paul's Funhouse, with a wild and weird abound. From the serious to the paranormal, there's no telling what you'll find. Hosted by Paul and friends, they'll take you on a wild ride through the realms of the unknown and the mysteries that hide. So come on in and take a seat, get ready for a show where anything can happen and the energy will flow. Welcome to the Funhouse, where the topics change and the lights are bright. It's a one-of-a-kind experience that will keep you up all night. So join Paul and friends and let the good times roll in the world of the Funhouse, where anything goes. Let's go. Oh, oh, oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to Paul's Funhouse. We have already covered a wide range of topics, some of which could be considered controversial. But I don't think any subject could be more contentious than the topic of religion. A topic so big you can't fit it all into one episode, so we'll be diving into another multiple episode topic. Don't worry, I won't tell you what religion to follow. Instead, I want to give you info on some of the most prominent religions in the world so you can decide for yourself what religion is right for you. Let's delve into the most influential religion in the world, Christianity. With approximately 2.4 billion followers, Christianity is an Abrahamic monotheistic religion that believes in the resurrection of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. His coming as the Messiah was prophesied in the Hebrew Bible and chronicled in the New Testament. This faith, which comprises around 31.2% of the world population, is the most significant and widespread religion globally, with its adherents known as Christians, estimated to be the majority in 157 countries and territories. Christianity, despite its widespread influence, is a rich tapestry of cultural and doctrinal diversity. Its Western and Eastern branches, along with various Christian denominations, all share the belief in Jesus as the Son of God who ministered, suffered, and died on the cross, but rose from the dead for the salvation of humankind. This is referred to as the Gospel, or the Good News. The four canonical Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John describe Jesus' life and teachings, with the Old Testament serving as their respected background. Christianity, a religion that began in the 1st century, after the death of Jesus, as a Judaic sect with Hellenistic influence in the Roman province of Judea, has a rich and complex history. The disciples of Jesus spread their faith around the Eastern Mediterranean despite significant persecution, including Gentiles led Christianity to separate from Judaism in the 2nd century slowly. Emperor Constantine I decriminalized Christianity in the Roman Empire by the Edict of Milan in 313, later convening the Council of Nicaea in 325, where early Christianity was consolidated into what would become the state religion of the Roman Empire in 380. The Church of the East and Oriental Orthodoxy split over differences in Christology in the 5th century, while the Eastern Orthodox Church and the Catholic Church separated in the East-West Schism in 1054. Protestantism split into numerous denominations from the Catholic Church in the Reformation era in the 16th century. Following the Age of Discovery from the 15th to 17th century, Christianity expanded worldwide via missionary work, evangelism, immigration, and extensive trade. Christianity played a prominent role in the development of Western civilization, particularly in Europe from late antiquity and the Middle Ages. The 6 major branches of Christianity are Roman Catholicism with 1.3 billion people, Protestantism with 1.17 billion, Eastern Orthodoxy with 230 million, Oriental Orthodoxy with 60 million, Restorationism with 35 million, and the Church of the East with 600,000. Smaller church communities number in the thousands despite efforts toward unity, known as ecumenism. Christianity remains the dominant religion in the West despite declining adherents, with about 70% of that population identifying as Christian. Christianity is growing in Africa and Asia, the world's most populous continents. Christians remain greatly persecuted in many regions of the world, particularly in the Middle East, North Africa, East Asia, and South Asia. While Christians worldwide share fundamental convictions, there are differences in interpretations and opinions of the Bible and sacred traditions on which Christianity is based. Concise doctrinal statements or confessions of religious beliefs are known as creeds. They began as baptismal formulae and were later expanded during the Christological controversies of the 4th and 5th centuries to become statements of faith. Jesus is Lord is the earliest creed of Christianity and continues to be used, as with the World Council of Churches. The Apostles' Creed is the most widely accepted statement of the articles of Christian faith. It is used by several Christian denominations for liturgical and catechetical purposes, most visibly by liturgical churches of Western Christian tradition, including the Latin Church of the Catholic Church, Lutheranism, Anglicanism, and Western Rite Orthodoxy. Presbyterians, Methodists, and Congregationalists also use it. This particular creed was developed between the 2nd and 9th centuries. Its central doctrines are those of the Trinity and God the Creator. Each of the doctrines in this creed can be traced to statements in the apostolic period. The creed was used as a summary of Christian doctrine for baptismal candidates in the churches of Rome. Its points include belief in God the Father, Jesus Christ as the Son of God and the Holy Spirit, the death, descent into hell, resurrection and ascension of Christ, the holiness of the church and the communion of saints, Christ's second coming, the day of judgment, and salvation of the faithful. The Nicene Creed was formulated, mainly in response to Arianism, at the Councils of Nicaea and Constantinople, in 325 and 381 respectively, and ratified as the Universal Creed of Christendom by the First Council of Ephesus in 431. The Chalcedonian definition, or Creed of Chalcedon, developed at the Council of Chalcedon in 451, though rejected by the Oriental Orthodox, taught Christ to be acknowledged in two natures confusedly, unchangeably, indivisibly, inseparably, one divine and one human, and that both natures, while perfect in themselves, are nevertheless also perfectly united into one person. The Athanasian Creed, received in the Western Church as having the same status as the Nicene and Chalcedonian, says, "We worship one God in Trinity, and Trinity in unity, neither confounding the persons nor dividing the substance." Most Christians, Catholic, Eastern Orthodox, Oriental Orthodox, and Protestant alike, accept the use of creeds and subscribe to at least one of the above-mentioned creeds. Certain evangelical Protestants, though not all, reject creeds as definitive statements of faith, even while agreeing with some or all of their substance. Groups with roots in the Restoration movement, such as the Christian Church, Disciples of Christ, the Evangelical Christian Church in Canada, and the Churches of Christ, also reject creeds. Many different denominations of Christians call themselves Catholic. Often these groups have unique beliefs about their leaders, called bishops. They believe Jesus of Nazareth, whom Christians believe is the Son of God, appointed the first bishops, who appointed future bishops and eventually appointed each community's current bishops. This appointing of leaders is called apostolic succession. The groups that use the term Catholic to talk about themselves are the Catholic Church, which is also called the Roman Catholic Church, Eastern Orthodox and Oriental Orthodox, Old Catholic Anglican, and some Lutheran and other groups. Communities that believe they lost their apostolic succession, but asked a different community to ordain new leaders for them. Ordain or consecrate is a word for the ceremony that makes a bishop or new religious leader. Not all communities believe that other communities use the term Catholic properly or have apostolic succession. For example, the Catholic Church believes the Eastern Orthodox have apostolic succession. However, the Catholic Church does not believe that the Anglicans or Lutherans have it. Eastern Orthodox have similar beliefs about Anglicans and Lutherans. However, not all Eastern Orthodox believe that the Catholic Church has apostolic succession, and different members of the Eastern Orthodox churches have different opinions. However, the Anglicans and Lutherans generally believe that all Christians are part of the Catholic Church. These groups have a very different understanding of the term Catholic. Now let's talk about Islam. Islam is an Abrahamic monotheistic religion centered on the Quran and the teachings of Muhammad, the religion's founder. Adherents of Islam are called Muslims, who are estimated to number approximately 1.9 billion worldwide and are the world's second largest religious population after Christians. Muslims believe that Islam is the complete and universal version of a primordial faith that was revealed many times through earlier prophets and messengers including Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, and Jesus. Muslims consider the Quran to be the verbatim word of God and the unaltered final revelation. Alongside the Quran, Muslims also believe in previous revelations such as the Torah, the Zabur, Psalms, and the Injil Gospel. They believe that Muhammad is the primary and final Islamic prophet, through whom the religion was completed. The teachings and normative examples of Muhammad, called the Sunnah, are documented in the Hadith accounts, providing a constitutional model for Muslims. Islam is based on the belief in the oneness and uniqueness of God, Tawheed, and faith in an afterlife, Akhirah, with the Last Judgment, wherein the righteous will be rewarded in paradise, Jannah, and the unrighteous will be punished in hell, Jahannam. The 5 pillars, considered obligatory acts of worship, comprise the Islamic oath and creed, Shahada, daily prayers, Salah, almsgiving, Zakat, fasting, Psalm in the month of Ramadan, and a pilgrimage, Hajj, to Mecca. Islamic law, Sharia, touches on virtually every aspect of life, from banking, finance, and welfare to men's and women's roles in the environment. The 2 main religious festivals are Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. The 3 holiest sites in Islam are Masjid al-Haram in Mecca, Prophet's Mosque in Medina, and Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. The religion of Islam originated in Mecca in 610 CE. Muslims believe this is when Muhammad received his first revelation. By his death, most of the Arabian Peninsula had converted to Islam. Muslim rule expanded outside Arabia under the Rashidun Caliphate, and the subsequent Umayyad Caliphate ruled from the Iberian Peninsula to the Indus Valley. In the Islamic Golden Age, specifically during the reign of the Abbasid Caliphate, most of the Muslim world experienced scientific, economic, and cultural flourishing. The expansion of the Muslim world involved various states and caliphates, extensive trade and religious conversion due to Islamic missionary activities, dawah, and through conquests. The 2 main Islamic branches are Sunni Islam, 85 to 90%, and Shia Islam, 10 to 15%. While the Shia-Sunni divide initially arose from disagreements over the succession to Muhammad, they grew to cover a broader dimension, both theologically and juridically. The Sunni canonical Hadith collection consists of 6 books, while the Shia one consists of 4. Muslims make up a majority of the population in 49 countries. Approximately 12% of the world's Muslims live in Indonesia, the most populous Muslim majority country. 31% live in South Asia, 20% live in the Middle East, North Africa, and 15% live in sub-Saharan Africa. Muslim communities are also present in the Americas, China, and Europe. Muslims are the world's fastest growing major religious group due primarily to a higher fertility rate and younger age structure compared to other major religions. One can't talk about religion without talking about irreligion. Irreligion is the absence or rejection of religious beliefs or practices. It encompasses a wide range of viewpoints drawn from various philosophical and intellectual perspectives, including atheism, agnosticism, skepticism, rationalism, and secularism. These perspectives can vary, with individuals who identify as irreligious holding diverse beliefs about religion or its role in their lives. According to the Pew Research Center's 2012 global study of 230 countries and territories, 16% of the world's population does not identify with any religion. A 2017 Worldwide Independent Network Gallup International Association report on a poll from 57 countries reported that 25% said they were not a religious person, and 9% responded as convinced atheists. The population of the religiously unaffiliated, sometimes referred to as nones, has grown significantly in recent years. Measuring irreligiosity requires excellent cultural sensitivity, especially outside the West, where the concepts of religion or the secular are not always rooted in local culture. Those who do not affiliate with a religion are diverse. Pew Research Center's global study 2012 noted that many non-religious measures overlap with some religious measures. Up next, we will talk about Hinduism. Hinduism is an Indian religion or dharma, a religious and universal order its followers abide by. The word Hindu is an exonym, and while Hinduism has been called the oldest religion in the world, it has also been described as Sanatana Dharma, literally the eternal Dharma, a modern usage based on the belief that its origins lie beyond human history, as revealed in the Hindu texts. Another endonym for Hinduism is Vaidika Dharma, literally Vedic Dharma. Hinduism entails diverse systems of thought marked by a range of shared concepts that discuss theology and mythology, among other topics, in textual sources. Hindu texts have been classified into Shruti, heard, and Smrti, remembered. The primary Hindu scriptures are the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Puranas, the Mahabharata, including the Bhagavad Gita, the Ramayana, and the Agamas. Prominent themes in Hindu beliefs include karma, action, intent, and consequences, and the four Purusarthas, proper goals or aims of human life, namely dharma, ethics, duties, artha, prosperity, work, kama, desires, passions, and moksha, liberation, freedom from the passions and the cycle of death and rebirth. Hindu religious practices include devotion, bhakti, worship, puja, sacrificial rites, yajna, and meditation, dhyana, and yoga. The major Hindu denominations are Vaishnavism, Shaivism, Shaktism, and the Smarta tradition. The 6 Astika schools of Hindu philosophy, which recognize the authority of the Vedas, are Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Mimamsa, and Vedanta. While the traditional Itihasa Purana and its derived epic Puranic chronology present Hinduism as a tradition that existed for thousands of years, scholars regard Hinduism as a fusion or synthesis of Brahmanical orthopraxy with various Indian cultures, having diverse roots and no specific founder. This Hindu synthesis emerged after the Vedic period between circa 500 to 200 BCE and circa 300 CE, in the period of the Second Urbanization and the early classical period of Hinduism, when the epics and the first Puranas were composed. It flourished in the medieval period with the decline of Buddhism in India. Since the 19th century, modern Hinduism, influenced by Western culture, has also greatly appealed to the West, most notably in popularizing yoga and various sects such as Transcendental Meditation and the Hare Krishna movement. Hinduism is the world's 3rd largest religion, with approximately 1.2 billion followers, or around 15% of the global population known as Hindus. It is the most widely professed faith in India, Nepal, Mauritius, Bali, Indonesia, and Butuan City, Philippines. Significant numbers of Hindu communities are found in other South Asian countries, Southeast Asia, the Caribbean, the Middle East, North America, Europe, Oceania, Africa, and other regions. The final religion on our list for today is Buddhism. Buddhism, also known as Buddha Dharma and Dharma Vinaya, is an Indian religion and philosophical tradition based on teachings attributed to the Buddha, a wandering teacher who lived in the 6th or 5th century BCE. It is the world's 4th largest religion with over 520 million followers, known as Buddhists, who comprise 7% of the global population. Buddhism arose in the eastern Gangetic Plain as a Shramana movement in the 5th century BCE and gradually spread throughout much of Asia. It has subsequently played a significant role in Asian culture and spirituality, eventually spreading to the West in the 20th century. According to tradition, the Buddha taught that attachment or clinging is the cause of dukkha, often translated as suffering or unease, but that there is a path of development that leads to awakening and total liberation from dukkha. This path employs meditation practices and ethical precepts rooted in non-harming, with the Buddha regarding it as the middle way between extremes such as asceticism or sensual indulgence. Widely observed teachings include the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Noble Path, and the doctrines of dependent origination, karma, and the 3 marks of existence. Other commonly observed elements include the Triple Gem, the taking of monastic vows, and the cultivation of perfections, paramita. Buddhist schools vary in their interpretation of the paths to liberation, marga, the relative importance and canonicity assigned to various Buddhist texts, and their specific teachings and practices. Scholars generally recognize 2 major branches of Buddhism: Theravada, literally School of the Elders, and Mahayana, literally Great Vehicle. The Theravada tradition emphasizes the attainment of nirvana, literally extinguishing, as a means of transcending the individual self and ending the cycle of death and rebirth, samsara. In contrast, the Mahayana tradition emphasizes the bodhisattva ideal, in which one works to liberate all sentient beings. Additionally, Vajrayana, literally indestructible vehicle, a body of teachings incorporating esoteric tantric techniques, may be viewed as a separate branch or tradition within Mahayana. The Buddhist canon is vast, with many textual collections in different languages such as Sanskrit, Pali, Tibetan, and Chinese. The Theravada branch has a widespread following in Sri Lanka and Southeast Asia, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, and Cambodia. The Mahayana branch, which includes the East Asian traditions of Tiantai, Chan, Pure Land, Zen, Nichiren, and Tendai, is predominantly practiced in Nepal, Bhutan, China, Malaysia, Vietnam, Taiwan, Korea, and Japan. Tibetan Buddhism, a form of Vajrayana, is practiced in the Himalayan states, Mongolia, and Russian Kalmykia. Japanese Shingon also preserves the Vajrayana tradition that was transmitted to China. Historically, until the early second millennium, Buddhism was widely practiced in the Indian subcontinent before declining there. It also had a foothold elsewhere in Asia, namely Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan. We have examined some of the major religions around the world. We didn't discuss some minor religions today, but we will cover them in the next episode, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next part of this series. Until next time, stay tuned and stay weird.
This is Purple Firehouse, where the show never ends. Tell all your buddies it's gonna be a wild ride. Join us next time for more fun and games. Like and subscribe and spread the word. Tell all your friends and get your tickets now.